Norton.
And I'm Laura Zmak.
And we're ready to do the next month. So this month we're working on birds in the air block.
So this is for month 2, month 5, month 8, and month 11. Now, if you're just starting out, you'll be working with the red lion quadrant. So you'll be working with reds, but your colors will change throughout the year. And this is the last quadrant that we're working on for this tutorial.
So first, your cutting instructions, you're going to be cutting 3 6 7/8 squares. Your squares are most likely going to be black, but we're working on one that has a cream background. So you're just going to cut it once on the diagonal. You'll see this little square with a diagonal line through it. That will give you all the triangles that you're going to need. In fact, you're going to end up with one extra. So if you save that triangle, the next time you sew up this quadrant, you won't have to cut 3, but you only have to cut 2. Also, you're going to be cutting half square triangles, 3-inch squares to make your half square triangles. You'll also have 2 7/8 squares that you're also going to cut once on the diagonal. So we had gone over the half square triangle instructions last month.
But as a quick little reminder, you're going to draw your lines on the back of your fabric. You can either draw one line from corner to corner and sew 1/4 inch on each side, or you can use the little Omni grip ruler and just put a 1/4 line through the middle of it and sew on each line. So we've sewn on all of our lines. We're ready to cut this little guy. So I'm going to cut right on the diagonal. And now when I open those up, I've got my half square triangle. Now the instructions tell you to press toward the dark this time.
Well, it's going to be
toward the color.
Yeah, no, actually they're going to be pressing theirs towards the black.
So we're going to press ours this way.
Yeah, so towards the background.
So we're going to press toward the background. So you're going to press toward the background, and then you're going to square it up to 2.5 inches.
All right, we're going to get ours squared up, and then we'll come back with the instructions. The first thing you're going to want to do after making your half square triangles is lay it out. It makes so much more sense to our brain when we're sewing it together if we know what the map looks like. So you're going to lay out your half square triangles, and the first thing you're going to do is just sew them in rows. So you're going to sew up this row, and then you're going to sew this row. So when you're sewing anything with points, you're just going to ask yourself, what's the point? And you're going to line up where that point is. Stick a pin in it and line it up where the next point is and do any easing. When you sew on this last triangle here, this is going to hang off just a little bit by about 1/4 inch, and that's correct. Don't try and ease it or line it up at the point. Line it up at the 90-degree sides, and then you'll know that there's a little tail that hangs off. When you do your 1/4 inch seam, your needle should end right where the diagonal meets the square.
Awesome. Are you ready to sew?
Yeah, let's go ahead and sew these into rows, and then we'll come right back. Oh, by the way, you're going to end up with an extra half square triangle and an extra triangle when you make one. But when you make 2 of the other 2 colors, those will get used. All right, we've sewn our rows. So we've sewn the first row, which is in step number 6, and the second row, and we pressed as the arrows indicated. The next thing you're going to want to do is be sure to trim those little dog ears before we sew the rows together. So we're just going to nest our seams, sew that on, nest, well, there's no net seam to nest on that one, but then we're going to finish sewing these 2 rows to the top one.
Excellent.
Now this unit is all sewn, pressed, and the dog ears trimmed, and we're ready to sew on the second half. So you're just going to go right sides together, line up those points, ease any differences, do a 1/4 inch seam,
pin,
at least 3 pins, and then your block will come out to be a beautiful 6.5 inch birds in the air block. You're going to make 1 in the quadrant color, the green owl, and then you'll have 2 in the secondary colors.
Cool. There we go.
Fantastic.
I'm going to start pinning, and we'll sew these together. All right, now for my favorite part. We're going to put it on the design wall. So we've already placed one. Now for our next block,
And this one goes right here. Oh my gosh, it's looking awesome. All right, we have a little hole. So now we have to do that little paper piecing, the second half of this second month here. And it's not that hard. So let's join Lisa at the sewing machine.